Hello everyone, this is Bhavik Chokshi here and I hope you guys are doing great. In today's video, we would be discussing about the study plan that you can follow, the strategy that can be employed in the last week before your exam for your CA Final Financial Reporting May 2023 papers. Now, the ideal time frame that I would recommend for you would be 6 days excluding the exam day. So ideally, if you start by 26th of April, that would be apt. But again, depending on your time schedule and your study plan, we have kind of given 4 different study plans for 7 days, 6 days, 5 days and 4 days. Anything below that is something that is strongly not recommended. Please ensure that you devote ideally 6 but a bare minimum 4 to 5 days before your exam for your financial reporting. The opening batsman has to perform well. So I'll be sharing the PDF for this plan also on the Telegram channel. You can refer that as well. What we have done is we have kind of given the indicative hours in blue against each of these topics. What I'll broadly do is I'll broadly discuss the sequence that ideally needs to be followed, whether you're doing 7 days, 6 days, 5 and 4. Ultimately, in each of these plans, the timelines individually will get compressed. Like you can devote maybe 12 odd hours under a longer plan for financial instruments, whereas you can devote lesser time, maybe around 7 or 8 hours in case of a shorter plan. But you can refer that depending on the timelines that you have. It is very important that you kind of cover the entire course. So you will ideally start with financial instruments or share-based payments. These are almost certain topics to come in your exam, and financial instruments does have a lot of other implications, and the earlier that gets out of the way, the better it is. So you will ideally start with financial instruments or share-based payments. As a guess, maybe financial instruments. Within that, yes, you will refer the entire topic, but more important will be compound financial instruments, financial assets or liabilities which are at off-market levels, accounting for derivatives, and if you look at certain special cases like financial guarantees, impairments, etc., and derecognition of financial liabilities. This is where I would focus on a lot. The theory questions being relatively lesser important. Having said that, it is important that you cover the entire course. In share-based payments, the accounting for a cash-based plan, and especially accounting for a cash-based plan with an equity alternative, which even came recently in the exam, performance-linked conditions and modification of ESOPs is where you should focus on. Then we would try to balance the course. So in the sequence, once financial instrument share-based payment is finished, we will try to move to the asset-linked indices, which are broadly in your module 2 of the institute study material. That includes index 16, 38, 40, all of these asset-linked indices, impairment, non-current assets held for sale. So you kind of balance out the indices and the topics. So over here, for the bigger indices, which I think are 3 of them in the asset link section, excluding the leases part, is index 16, index 36 and index 23. These 2 are important. Almost all 3 are of the tier 1 category, and I would require you on an average to dedicate 2 to 3 hours probably in each of them, depending on the time that you have. We have kind of even mentioned the time. Obviously, if you have only 4 days or even 5 days, slightly compressed way. So you will then go to the asset link standards. For the other asset link standards like intangibles, investment property, inventories, etc., they will get relatively faster. Target 1 to 1.5 hours each for the other topics other than these 3. So once you are done with these other asset link standards, in the sequence, on a fresh day, try to finish leases. Now leases is something which is fairly important from an exam perspective, and when we look at leases, the important part in leases sits at the center where the accounting happens. Initially there's a lot of theory, good to know, but in the exam relatively lesser chances. The accounting for leases in the books of the lessee, lessor, again manufacturer lessor has not come in the exam till date. Special cases involving sale and leaseback being important, and modification of leases. The COVID-19 related modifications being relatively lesser important because it kind of expired on 30th June 2022. Good to know, but it's unlikely to land up in your exam. Hopefully it should not. Then after your leases are done, we can then go into the bigger topics. So your asset link standards are done, financial instrument share-based payment is done. Then going and tackling business combination and consolidation. Do not keep this right for the end. Business combination and consolidation is something which I would strongly recommend at least 2 sums of each. You solve it on pen and paper. In case of business combination, there's a sum of professional and dynamic. Try to do that fairly well, and at the end there's a sum which involves AX, BX, even do that well. There's a sum on reverse acquisition for which we have shared a separate video on YouTube as well. You can refer that. That has not come in the exam, and hence there is a possibility the institute might be testing that as well. So the longer questions in business combinations and the questions involving PC calculations, net assets calculations, which are fairly important. So in our books, which I guess we have 70 odd questions, the questions beyond question number 28 or 29 where numericals actually start are what is more important. The longer questions are relatively more important when it comes to business combination. After business combination, you should also try to do the standard on deferred taxes in Index 12 along with that, because the longer questions of business combination, a lot of them involve deferred tax as well. So along with business combination, a relatively smaller topic like deferred taxes, which is also an important topic in Index 12, should be tackled. Then going to consolidation. Consolidation specifically, I would focus on 3 particular questions. One is the chain holding question. One is the question where there is a fair value adjustment and dividend adjustment. I think in our books as well as the study material, there's a question of Ram and Krishnan. Focus on that. And there was a question which was there in the January 21 paper, which we have also covered. I think that is question 10 or 11 of our books. These 3 questions in particular, the longer questions, they are more important. Then going into joint ventures and associates in the same flow. In joint ventures and associates, the accounting for equity method is something that you should focus on, and for joint ventures, the proportionate method. These are the 2 topics where you should focus on, though consolidation of subsidiaries is relatively more important. Finish foreign exchange along with that. So in the sequence, once you have finished financial instruments, share-based payments, asset-linked standards including leases, business combination, deferred taxes, consolidation, do foreign exchange. Now this foreign exchange standard has some interlinkage with consolidation, where you have foreign subsidiaries as well as financial instruments where there is a foreign currency loan, etc. It's an important topic which comes along with other topics as well. So finish off foreign exchange. After that is done, you will then focus on the standards involving liabilities and disclosures. So revenue is remaining, so Index 115, and then once 115 is done, almost all the almost certain topics of your course are completed. Then going into the other standards like Index 19, Index 33, Index 37, etc. And you can refer this, and all of the topics we have kept on the second last day. So you have kept the last day, the exam day, as a buffer day and a quick recap day. So you should use that for quick recap. Ideally, if you stick to the study plan, you will be easily able to do a quick recap of the entire course just a day before your exam. And if not, in case, as we see, sometimes our targets are not met, so at least we have some buffer, some cushion to cover stuff on the last day. So I'll be sharing this, but try to, I mean, this is again indicative, it is not carved in stone. You can obviously modify it based on your experience, but I mean, try to stick to this. Do not refer anything new. Even if you hear about something or read about something, or some friends tell you that this is something which you should refer, if you have not done it till now, try to consolidate on your strengths. Forget about the other things. You have a lot of material which you can kind of work on and really get really good scores. So focus on the material that you have, our material or anyone else's material. Focus on the material that you have done, build your confidence, get that momentum. And the financial reporting paper is the most difficult paper to complete. I'm not saying it's the most difficult paper to solve. It's almost entirely from the study material. However, it is the most difficult paper to complete, and again, being the first paper, you are very much finicky about the presentation, doing a double line, making boxes. Do not do this unless you are a very fast writer. Ensure that you remember the rule that 100 marks is 180 minutes. That means approximately 1.8 minutes per mark, and accordingly time yourself. So if it's a 5-mark question, approximately 9 marks, 10-mark question, 18 marks. Questions like business combination or consolidation might not necessarily get over in that threshold, and hence you will try to compress the other questions in order to complete them. Do not address the big business combination or consolidation questions at the beginning, because you will end up investing a lot of time, and God forbid if the balance sheet does not tally, that will have quite a difficult problem for you to address. So get momentum when you are reading the paper. Just ensure that you focus and find out that one question where you are absolutely confident. Start with that question. In the middle of the paper, tackle a big business combination or consolidation question. Don't even keep it for the end, because in that last hour pressure you might not be able to kind of think as clearly, and one wrong impact can kind of have a lot of spillover effects. So be patient, be calm, have faith in yourself, and I'm sure things will fall in place. We have shared the YouTube playlist of the revision videos that we have shared. I'll also try to share a separate marathon video with you as well. So wish you all the very best. Study really hard, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Take care.